G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video. Today I want to paint a majestic mountain scene, something for you beginners to get your hands on. And I've gone and sketched a little diagram on a piece of paper here, so I'll bring you over here and show you that. But before I do, I first better get the size of the canvas up there in centimetres and inches. Okay, and also we'll probably put some colours up the screen as well, just so you can write them down and work out what I'm going to use. And just take note of what brushes I'm going to use in this painting, what worked for me. And if you've got something similar or brushes that work for you, that's what you need to use in this painting as well. So come on over here and we'll have a look at the sketch that I've got there. So I've designed this mountain. It's going to be a big mountain in the middle of the painting, and we're going to have a few different grounds within the painting. We'll have a side mountain or hill range here, maybe a lake with some reflection, and I want this sort of field area coming all the way from us and going all the way back and slowly going up the mountain. And then we'll probably have some evergreen trees, but not in a straight line across the bottom of the mountain. I want some far back and closer up, okay? And we'll probably have a rocky edge going across here into the water as well. So on my palette, I want to start with the sky. We'll prepare the sky colour. So I've got some retarder and my soft white student paint here. I want to mix that with the retarder so as I can condition my canvas panel so we'll get the sky to blend like an oil painting would, okay? So we'll get the sky area mapped in. Crisscross it and get it all pushed into the cotton of your canvas there. Now this is a canvas panel. Okay, now this is conditioning the sky, ready to blend, okay? So we'll first put our sky on there, and then we'll come forward with everything else. Now I'm going to pick up some of the phthalo blue. It's from a tube and it's called phthalo blue red shade. So we'll get some of this blue in the sky. Okay, I'll start at the top, get all the edge done, get it on there, crisscross it into all that white. Don't worry about your brush strokes at the moment. We're getting the paint on there, and then we'll brush stroke it out nice and evenly, like so. We're massaging it into that white that's on the canvas board already, and we've got a beautiful, kind of a realistic sky colour there. Nothing too loud or bright, okay? Okay, I want a brush to apply my clouds on there, so I'm using a fan brush, and I'm going to use titanium white out of the tube, the proper white colour you want in a painting. And I've also got some mid-tone grey there for the shadow values in our clouds. So I think what I would like is some Australis clouds up high from each corner coming down, just like that. Get a blending brush and a paper towel and blend these softly into that blue sky colour, leaving some bands of Australis clouds high up in the sky. And we've got some coming that side. I've cleaned that brush. Now we'll get some coming from this side, scooting into the middle of the painting as well, just like that, okay? So if anything, these are darting into the middle of the sky. Do the same again to this side. Blend it. Find your blending pressure and start moving it. And take your time. Wipe your brush because paint's building up. And then we'll just put some clouds in front of that. Alright, I know my mountain's going to come up here, so I might just put something here. Find the shape that you want and come off the actual painting, okay? Just like that. Now I want to blend from halfway down and get to the bottom of that cloud, just blending it nice and soft. Work out the pressure you've got to use. Okay, that's looking good. Tickle the tops just a little bit Don't sink them into that misty cloud up there. That's all right. And we'll do one on the other side as well. Okay, I've cleaned that brush. This one will come, let's say about there. That'll do. Very simple. Create a shape and just leaving the top, dancing, flicking and twisting and merging that into the sky. Try and find a bit of a bottom on it, just so we've got something to put our shadows. Tickle the tops. Now I'm going to pick up the other grey that I put on the palette down here, just for our shadow tones of those clouds. So here I want to dance along the bottom and spider web it into that cloud, creating a base of that cloud. And I want to sink that into that white, just like this. Wipe your brush as you go, and you'll see a cloud happen. And we're getting a base on it, like so. Okay, I've just shadowed that one off camera. Now I've picked up some clean paint in a clean fan brush again, and we want to add our yummy volumes to that cloud, making it crack and pop. Now if you've seen my videos before, you know we just slightly tickle that down into the grey, but leaving the glare there, just like so, and we've created a cloud with at least some dimension. Just like that, and soften them down into your clouds. Alright, and now once we've done this, we can dry it because we're not going to blend no more. Now this is dry. I want to work out where I want my mountain, so we'll come off, and I want it coming right up, something nice and majestic. Give it a bit of a peak like that, and just come off there like so, okay? And see these peaks, if anything, you can do sort of a wiggly line like that, and it's sort of creating different sides. But I want that there so we know where our mountain's going to be, and we're probably going to have a mountain range here coming into our water, and then this field is going to slowly participate up there, so to speak, and come around here. Alright, so let's map our mountain in. Okay, I've got burnt umber and some black, so this brush, I just want to dip in water and wipe it off, so as this is going to flow off the brush. Now this is acrylic. We're not going to paint mountains the way you do with oils. If you've seen an oil artist, we've got to approach it a bit different to get what we're going to get today. So we've drawn the top of our mountain there, so let's keep that reasonably tight. Just dampen your brush a bit more so it's going to flow off. Don't over dampen it though, and see the edge will come nice and sharp. And we don't have to try and fade this down like they do with oils as well with a knife. We're just going to paint all this in. Follow my lead and I'll show you what I mean, okay? Alright, I'm going to pick up some of the black, probably mix that with some of the brown, just so we've got a real dark value of that. And I've dried my mountain, and we can just put in some darker values now. Just lay it on and scrunch it in somewhere like that. And we're going to highlight some of this as well. So we've got some there. And I'm making that zigzag pattern. There's the darker values to our mountain. just hide any imperfections of that brown. Get them like that, sort of come up it. And we're going to put some lighter colours in here as well. So we've got our darker values scratched in there for brush. I've cleaned that brush and I've picked up some white. Now I want to mix a lighter value of that burnt umber with some white. Not too light, but light enough to show that's what's on there. So yeah, a bit more brighter. And we'll scratch some of this in there like we did with the black. And while I'm using the flat brush, I just find it easy to control. So we'll come down here. I'm just leave some of those darker brown values in there. And we're coming down there from that black bit, okay? How's that looking in the monitor? That's all right. It's doing the job. And we'll trace some of this out at the very ends, just so we got somewhere for our field to start coming up this mountain. Out here as well. So we've got medium, light and darks within our mountain range there, okay? And when we put our field coming up, we can probably add more shadow elements in there, okay? Or if you want to add snow to the top of your mountain, you can. Okay, how's that? Something here. There we go. Yeah, I'm just merging those colours together so they're not so vigorous and loud. Alright, I've cleaned that brush, and I suppose it won't hurt to put some kind of snow on here, so we'll attack the top and we'll kind of get an area coming down the mountain. Some of the snow's trapped within gorges and valleys of the mountain, just like that. I'll come over here, go a little bit above your darker colour so it's going to sit right. And we're just putting some laces of snow here and there. Don't come too far down. And some over here. Now that lighter side, I've got a bit of blue on the board there. I'm just contaminating some of that with the blue into the white. And this side here, we'll just contaminate a bit, and that can trace down the mountain there as well. Okay. So we've got a bit of a shadow tone there as well. I might just smear some down here as well, let it evaporate, because obviously the top of the mountain's very high, it's reaching altitude and coldness, and snow's developing up there. That'll do us. Okay, I've dried all that. Now I want to put this field in first, because it's going to tuck behind that mountain range that we had here. So I don't want to do that one first, I want to do this first. So I've just dampened my brush. I'm using this big 2-inch one again, and I want to laden it on first with the forest green. And we're going to, that mountain range is coming here, so I want this about there. That can come up there as well. And we're going to lace this in here, okay? So let's get all this painted the green. Just forest green or sap green will sort you out with this. Get that right over there so as I can bring that other one in front of it. I like overlapping the backwards and forward areas so as they work great on the canvas. And we're going to come around here to our rocky bank. Now I've loaded this brush up again and I've chiseled it because I want to get, I might have to come back here, but I want to sort of merge some of this coming up our mountain hill there like that. So find the areas where you can sort of get it coming up. Load your brush up again. Try not to have too much of a uniform pattern. And work out if you need to have your paint a little bit more damper than what it should be, or leave it as it is. So we're coming up there. How's that? That's looking all right. It's tracing up little gullies and gorges there within that mountain, but it's a long way away still. Now I'm getting some of the yellow on here, cadmium yellow, just to do two areas of that area. So I want to grab some of this that's lighter, and I want to feel that in like that. Get it nice and straight. There we go, just like that. Now I want this area brighter, so I'm going to pick up some more yellow there. And let's do that again. So I'm going to come on here. There we go. Now I'm going to dry it. Alright, I've cleaned everything. I'm grabbing this brush again, and I want to load it up, chisel the edge with the paint. And we want to, yeah, that's going to work. We want to get some of this highlighted coming from what we traced up the mountain there, just to indicate. And if it's too yellow, mix it down with some green, okay? But I'm coming there. How's that looking in the monitor? It's sort of going up the mountain. Yeah, that's all right. I'll turn the brush around. And we've got our forest green again. Let's grab some of that and put in the rest of this yellow, just so we can get some yellow green happening out there. And now we want to sink that down and come this way, because we're going to have some that's coming off the mountain, off the painting there. We're coming in front of that there. So we can put some darker values there. I'll pick up all that bright colour we mixed, and we're bringing this, leave some of that darker green there. Don't worry about the shore edge there, we're going to fix that up as we get to it, but we're getting some lawn out here, somewhere we can put some trees. And don't worry if you feel like I've done here, I've lost too much of the dark. So I'm just going to pick up some of that and scratch it back in. There we go. So that's coming in front there. So we're going for that lawn colour. Now I've just wiped that brush, put on some more of the yellow, just so as we can get all this like field grass coming in our mountains there. Alright, now we can dry all this and get to the next stage. Now I have some forest green, and I'm going to pick up the rest of that yellow because I just want to get a mid value of this green in there. Now I want to come probably from this height somewhere down and around there. So now there's me horizon line there. It's came in front of that. I better cover that blue bit out. Now we just want to block that in with this one colour, and you can keep the top of it a bit airy-fairy. Now let's put the reflection of there. It doesn't have to be as deep, but we'll get it, we'll get it about there. We'll block this in quickly, okay. And then we'll just scratch that down as we go. And then later on we will put the sky colours in there. Alright, you've got to this stage. I've just put a line where I want the reflection of the mountain in there, and I'm going to pick up some of the French ultramarine mix with the white, say like the sky colour. Give it the right value. And we're going to put this in there. So just paint this in a roundabout way. Now where this is meeting the green grass, all on this side, I want to merge them like that, and then maybe pick up a bit of green and merge the green into that as well, because I want that diffused. See, like that, because we're going to have rocks there. Now we'll just go back to our green. We'll put it on, headbutt it to that watercolour, the sky colour I mean, like that, so about there. Let's make sure my brush ain't too wet. And we can just give it some the littlest scratch downs, just like that. Nothing vigorous, because the water's going to be reasonably calm, but we just want a little bit of hint there. Alright, now we can dry all that green block in, but before we do, we might as well put the mountain reflection in as well. So where are we? We can probably start from about here. Let's diffuse that into there. Wipe the brush, probably get a bit of the green and diffuse that back into there as well. Yeah, that's looking good. Happy with that. I've just picked up some black and I'm just going to sort of indicate some darker values within our mountain here in the reflection, just like that, and then I'll add some of the values of snow in there in the reflection as well, just so we've got something going on there. I'm just smoothing out some of the deliberate brush strokes. Now I've got some white, and where are we? So we pretty much want, we don't want this too loud, and we'll just get the hint of our whites. Turn the brush around, just the hint of them there, just to make up the reflection. Okay, still going with some darker values. I'm just grabbing a scenery brush, I call it my deerfoot, and I want to just add some darker values into this hillside here now, okay? Okay, grab yourself a levelling stick. We want to find our horizon line, so I'm about here. Okay, there, and then that's going to come around a bit. So I'm going to use this to give myself a reasonably straight horizon line, which is about there. I've just got another brush now, and I want to get a straight line just across there like so. Push it on, get it reasonably straight. Take your stick away. You can see what's happened there. Now this brush is like another scenery brush. I want to dance the bottom, make the bottom of this all dark within that hillside there. And we'll probably put something here as well. So I'm bringing it down on a slight angle down. You never want to bring this angle right down because it gives you an L shape in your horizon and it just don't look right when it's like that. So this is just fading away back there where we're going to have our rocks. Alright, and this will allow us to put our waterline there. Okay, I've dried all this. Now before I put this line in there, we've got to detail this with our forest green again, but we're going to mix up some cad yellow light and get a completely different value of green in that hillside there. Something that's going to stand out, okay? So I've got my value the correct shade I want. I want to go just a bit above there sometimes, not too much, and then start creating pockets of canopy like within your mountain. This is quite a distance away still. Now I want to just flick some of this into here like that. I'm not going to dot it and smooth it, we're just going to go like this and break up that shadow tone with the blacks with this shade. Now go and have a look at some trees and shrubs and green trees out in the middle of the road and on the islands and whatever, in the traffic, all those trees and shrubs. Your eye's telling you they're green, but they also have a lot of brown elements in them, and we're going to put that into this green just to give it that real kind of look about it, okay? Now we'll mix up the other colour. I'm using burnt umber. Get your brush wet, and then we'll start adding cadmium yellow light till we get the value we want, sort of like a caramel colour. There we go. Then we are going to put our pockets of burnt or dead branchy wood stick colours within this. Do the same with this, just around the place, pull it through roughly where you think you got it. Don't think too much doing this, just do it like this and it'll happen for you. Let's get a lighter value just so we can highlight some of that hilltop now. And we can probably look for, find the grey, the brown bits you put in there. Let's just see, I don't want to make sure, this is, I'm very barely touching it. I want to see what this is looking like in the monitor. That's not too bad. Just little bits where the light's probably hitting high and low spots of this. Pull it down in here as well. I'll probably put some there and a bit there, and then I'll transfer it up on top. Now grabbing our burnt umber on one side of the brush and our white on the other. Put the white up top and have a bit of a practice. Too light, pick up some more dark. That's it. Okay, and from about here I want to add some rocks, smaller out here and coming quite bigger as they come forward. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And they can come a bit bigger as you come forward, okay? These are fun to do. Look at them. Big, massive boulders. I mean, it's probably... Better put some more white on the brush. Oh, a little one way down here somewhere. Then you can fill up the gaps. I don't know what nature intended here. It's just a rocky area in my book. Now we want to put our waterline across here, but we don't want to make it cartoony, and we're going to use a knife. I'm scared of using a knife, but I've worked out a way to ease the paint. So we want to spread that pretty even over your palette. Get that white spread at about a micromillimeter, okay? Wipe your knife. Grab yourself a good flat brush. Just dip it in water and dab it dry again so it's contaminated with water. Now grab a knife and pull some paint on there like that, and if you have to, clean the edge up like that. Now I'll show you out here, like normally we put this on, keep it straight in the middle of that black. There we go. Keep it straight. Now look at that. Isn't that quite loud and whoa, what did you do, man? This is where we grab the bullshit stick. Now our brush is damped and wiped. We want to come under that, chisel the edge a bit, come under that white before it dries, and I like doing this now, and we're just going to wipe your brush, come along, wipe your brush, and we're just going to set it down a bit. Brush isn't wet enough. Because we're going to create the film. There we go, see? Maybe those knife strokes were a little bit on the heavy side. Come back. Just touch the bottom of that line. And it will look a lot more realistic than a big cartoony white line. Let's get this one. And don't do too much in a row like I did just here, but I was doing you that for the purpose of the video. Now we've got film on our brush. We can use this, keeping them straight. And see, they're very faint but wet. And go again. Tilt your brush to the height you want them. But they're very smeary and watery and murky. That's what makes it subtle but powerful. Okay, so we're putting some more on. Now you want to get where the mountains in the water and get some reflections zigzagging over that line, just like so. I'm using the flow white paint for this, not the heavy titanium, and we're virtually creating a scallopy bit. And this stick helps to keep them straight. Now just to finish it off, we'll put some evergreens forward and back. I've just mixed up some forest green with the black, and I want some here, so I'm just using this flathead brush again, and I'll get the heights where I want them, somewhere here, and we'll put probably some more within that line. And then we'll probably bring some a bit more forward up here. So we're going to have some about here. So these sticks are just going to indicate where our evergreens are. Now we'll build those up, okay? But first, give them some shadow underneath. Shadow's important. Make some shadow underneath them. Follow the lay of the land for your shadow. Now to finish these off, we've got our forest green, and we're going to trace in some elements. These distant ones don't have to be too detailed, just something to depict their shape. These forward ones I'll show you. So we've got all that green mixed in with there. Leave the shadow underneath like that. From the top, I'm going to come down and just virtually swing my way down like a pendulum, but off that, just like that. This one up as well. I've got some of the burnt umber and the white to make this lighter colour. And before we detail the trunks, we just want to periodically highlight some of that trunk coming down the tree into the shadow a little bit, just like that. That'll do. Using the cad yellow light and the forest green, I've mixed up a yellow green, and I want to start from here and find your highlights. If you have a better brush for this, by all means use it. I'm just using this flat. Maybe it's good for this, maybe it isn't. I will admit, if I do part of a painting and if I reckon it's crap, like these trees are now, I'll say that's rubbish. I'm not going to try and make out that they're great, because, you know, they are what they are. I suppose I can, which I will, you know, you watch what happens when you darken the mistake up. I'll get this fan brush again, and we'll darken the mistake up just like that. I will turn these into conifers, so I'm leaving the shadow there, and I'm making like a torpedo shape out of these trees with just the forest green. So you go there, we'll put these back, trying to keep some of those darks that are there. Okay, yep. And we have these in Australia, they're conifers. Now I can dry that and bring the cows home with these conifers, you watch. Now I've dried the subject, and I'll start from way back here. Let's get just, because I want to work from behind and in front. Just get these ones done in a way. And now I'll work on these. So I'm doing the left hand side of them and sort of tracing in the middle. See, like that? How's that look in the monitor? Fine. This one's going to come in front of that one. Up the top, there we go. And the same with this. This one's all the way here, coming in front of that one, leaving the dark in between the two. And we're just coming down the tree like that, leaving the dark between the two. Okay, there we go. I hope my head's not in the way. I'm just sitting certain ones back with this. So don't forget, all my paintings are for sale. Go to the link in the description below and you'll find my art for sale. Message me for purchase, and payments are done through PayPal. Check the other links. Follow me on Facebook. Say hello. Alright, I'm going to whack a frame on that and see how this looks. Yeah, that don't look too shabby in a frame, you know. I quite like that. It's something I designed out of my head. Alright, give it a go. And if you're having trouble like I do, practice a bit more. Maybe it was a waste of time getting that grass travelling up the hill because it got covered by me conifers, but such is a painting, alright? I hope you like what just happened in front of your eyes, and if you do, be sure to subscribe and give the thumbs up and tell your friends. But if you don't like what I'm doing here, you tell everybody, alright, not me. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya!